Welcome to the winter of my discontent. It's getting a bit like that, isn't it? If this is going to be another little snippy video, I would appear in front of you, but I don't want to be in front of the lights and also watching my face grimace and all my weird mannerisms that I get when I'm feeling the way I am now, which isn't quite well, with an aura migraine headache. It's kind of like a body migraine. It's hard to explain, and I'm super tired. So I hope you don't mind me talking to you in the dark. I did want to talk about Delphi murders and some things that are happening around this case at the moment. I wanted to talk about disinformation agents. I want to talk about something sinister and see how you felt about it all and if you agree with me or not. So, what am I alluding to? Well, how can I start this? Let's talk about empathy again quickly, because in my video I made yesterday, the Sunday Mail, or You've Got Sunday Mail, where I was reading out some articles from a Brisbane newspaper. One of the articles was on dark empathy, and it was saying this is the new most dangerous personality trait. And I was just talking about how empathy is this paradox, because it can be used to really hurt people. It can be used against people, and it can be used to heal and to help and to assist and to raise up and to connect. So there's really this paradox with empathy, and the thing I want to talk about today, it's also one of these paradoxes, because suggestibility can be used to heal or to harm just as much as empathy can. And I guess, you need to work at finding motives for things, right? Sometimes it's just people trolling. Sometimes they've just got something to gain. Sometimes they're just idiots. But what am I talking about when I talk about suggestibility and it being used to heal or it being used to harm? If you're a highly suggestible person, or if you're able to be influenced in a certain way, you can be healed through suggestibility. This might be through types of therapy. It could be talk therapy, it could be homeopathy, it could be hypnotherapy. So, for example, there are some psychosomatic physical symptoms that people have. There are illnesses that people have that can really be helped by hypnotherapy, by being guided through working with your own body to relax, to understand your body, accept your body, for your body to feel good to you and not bad. So for example, people with irritable bowel syndrome, they can be helped by hypnotherapy sometimes, right? So that is the power of suggestion, working on someone that is open to suggestion, being helped in a positive fashion. And suggestibility can also be extremely damaging to individuals and to groups, and it can be something that spreads through populations, memes, ideas, negative things. Mass hallucinations can spread through populations when people are suggestible, and when this quirk of human nature is exploited. People thinking that they've seen a UFO might be an example of suggestibility and a mass hallucination. Now, I believe in UFOs, and of course they exist because all they are is an unidentified flying object, although I believe they've been recategorized or renamed. Can't, off the top of my sore head, remember what that is now. But, there are instances where phenomenon that can be explained and aren't an unidentified flying object are thought to be an unidentified flying object by the people that view it, and then other people see footage or believe the story, and it gets out into the population, spreads like wildfire, and pretty soon it's fact, not myth. There's the Virgin Mary that appeared at Fatima, who appeared to 3 children, and I'd say one of those children had the vision, or the idea that she had the vision, and the siblings took that idea on. They told people that Virgin Mary was going to appear on a certain day. 1,000 people had the same spiritual experience of seeing the Virgin Mary, and I don't know if it was sunrise or sunset, but the clouds were in the sky and the conditions were such, lots of corona phenomenon, I guess, and people all thought they were seeing the same thing, and that is the power of suggestibility, or mass hallucination, right? But you've got mass hysteria, you've got moral panic, 2 slightly different things. You've got mass hysteria. It's a collective obsessional phenomenon, I guess. It's psychogenic, I think they call it, which means it begins in the mind. And that phenomenon includes things like crazes and panic. You had the mass hysteria situation in the last couple of years, right? And it includes abnormal beliefs that will spread. And moral panic might be where, a group is really distressed about perceived threat, whether it's an entirely unreal threat, or whether it's an exaggerated threat. Something might be portrayed as really catastrophic, and it spreads through mainstream media, or at least that's how it used to spread. And they make money out of spreading this sort of stuff and frightening people, so they keep doing it. It's successful for them. And that's, the spread of moral panic. And these days we've got social media to do this. We've got the tubes here where QAnon will terrify the living bejesus out of people. Do you all remember that? Just wait for it. All the elites are being taken down. That's kind of an example of that, I guess. You've got other conspiracy channels, I guess, that spread all sorts of different conspiracies. There are the ones that are so dishonorable. They basically want to think Summer Wells out of existence, for example. Oh, she's an actress. How disgusting. That little girl was a real person. She lived a real life that involved suffering and neglect. We all know it. And then she disappeared. And something happened to her, a real person. And yet there's the conspiracy theorists that just are so caught up, okay, they're so suggestible, right? They get caught up in this sort of whirlwind and dragged along with it, and through their own excitement, and it's like, it's like they're having all these eureka moments. It's like they've just had they've gone down this wormhole, and they've been shown another reality, that they're seeing into another dimension, parallel universe or something. It's as if they've been awakened, and then they have this belief, and they excitedly go and spread around that, oh no, this is all a psyop, without really recognizing what they're doing and how disrespectful that is to Summer and her life. Anywho, that's not what I'm talking about. I am talking about Delphi murders. I do want to talk about Cheyenne's photos. So Cheyenne and Cheryl, two girls older than Libby and Abby, and they were there on February 13th, 2017 in the afternoon, and Cheyenne was taking photographs. And just in a couple of diversions before I get to my main point, sorry this is taking a while, was Cheyenne using film that needs to be developed? Because people are talking about there's this double exposure. Well, if she's using digital, then it's sort of a Photoshop sort of thing, isn't it? Because people are talking, oh, look, there's a face from a previous photo and now it's superimposed over the bridge. But that can't happen with digital photography unless, someone wants it to happen. And with film, it can happen accidentally or through manipulation by the person developing the film. So that needs to be explained. I personally don't see it, but I'm not dissing anyone that thinks they see things like that. I mean, I'm not even talking about the person that people think they see under the bridge. There's one or two figures under the bridge, and there's speculation, is this someone waiting for bridge guy or looking for the girls, communicating, all of that, right? No, I'm not talking about that. And each to their own. I don't see it. Okay, I don't see it, and I'm not forensically examining those photos. I tell you who is, the police. So I'm not talking about that because, I'm not trying to come down on people that are just trying to solve the case in their caring manner, and, maybe they think they see a figure under the bridge. I don't see it. I think it's tricks of light. I see bits of timber. I see metal. I see rocks and shadow, and that's what I believe it to be. No, there is a more insidious thing, a darker, more dangerous thing happening. And now it sort of seems to be coming from two or three places. Now these sources have people believing that down on the creek bed in these photos, there is one of the girls covered in mud, blood, drag marks. They can see track marks. There's barrels mentioned and things like that. But no, the main thing is there's a dead body there. It's one of the girls. They're covered in mud. There is so much blood. This is what they say. I mean, look, there probably are quad bikes riding up and down there all the time. And there are track marks. And I think you can see where vehicles have been. It's to be expected in an area like that. But now people are seeing what they're being told is there, and they are sharing it. They're sharing this as information. It's disinformation. You've got to think, is it misinformation? Is it disinformation? What are the motives of the persons telling you? What are their characters like? Who are they? What are they wanting from you? Why would they do that? What does it mean? It's pretty cruel, right? Not only is it just stupid, it's cruel. It's cruel to the memories of the girls. The timing and everything. It was daylight when the girls were there and went missing. It was daylight when others were there to see figures under the bridge, girls lying dead under the bridge. How did they get mud on them so quickly? It's if Cheyenne could see them in the photograph when taking the photograph, it's not like she would only just see them later. You wouldn't, I don't know. And then, to say that there would have been a lot of movement, maybe quad bikes taking them to another site and then dropping them off at the place that they were eventually discovered, drag marks with that. This is a lot of activity. And, people were going to the bridge all afternoon, and then people were there searching. And then law enforcement were there. Now, did you see this big hoo-ha under the bridge where this became the secondary or tertiary crime scene, where officers were down there working that scene because there's all the blood, because clearly a body had been there, because clearly tracks were leading from where the girls were found, maybe slightly north and over the natural bridge, and then along to under the bridge where people are saying maybe Abby fell down. I mean, it's possible that if bridge guy was coming past the girls on the bridge to herd them down, that one of them did fall. Maybe they would have screamed. Would a scream not have been heard? Possibly not, but if that had happened, would she have just been left there and Libby taken? I don't know. But it's a lot of activity going on. And they've got you believing it. And they've got you believing that they can see it. It's as if you're looking at these static images and you're seeing it like a movie. And it's very persuasive. Why? Why is this, Is it just because certain people are highly suggestible and then other people are just highly, wanting to be socially polite and get on and not be rude and, and then you've just got the repeaters, and then you've just got people that are just lunatics, But the thing is, this is going out there now as the new idea. And this craziness, we have to stop this runaway locomotive. We have to stop the horse from bolting. We can't let this happen, because this is a community, the Delphi murders community. This is a community that really is caring. There's enough nastiness in it already, and we can't let this be yet another farce, because it disrespects the girls. It's not entertainment, and are you part of the entertainment by taking part in it, or are you part of someone's plan? Are you a tool for them getting what they want, which is maybe to hurt others, hurt someone specifically, to hurt the case, just to meddle, just to troll, just to get their jollies, or just because they're just really misguided and they're just unwell, they're caught up in something, they've lost all objectivity and reason. What is it? I don't know. But you don't need to jump on the wagon, and you don't even, and why give the benefit of the doubt? It's okay to say, well, hold on a minute, that's absolutely ridiculous. It is a complicated landscape, and things can get missed all the time. But, the police, the law enforcement were, there were teams brought in. They would have made that a tertiary crime scene, because especially after they found Libby and Abby's body, police wanted to do everything they can to find whatever evidence they could. And they would have examined the bridge and the trails, and they would have seen signs that, as these people are trying to tell you, that a body was down there on the creek bank, that this person might have been covered in mud or halfway in and out. I mean, they are good enough to work that out. And it would have been a tertiary scene, and you would know about it. And if you think just examining the photos now is bringing new evidence and that the police couldn't notice themselves when forensically examining these photographs. Just don't go for it. Don't fall for it. If they sent the footage of Bridge Guy to NASA and Disney, I mean, that just seems outrageous, right? But look, then maybe they sent Cheyenne's photos as well to see if there was anything visible there. I don't believe there's anything there. I'm not writing off that maybe there was a figure under the bridge. There actually could have been someone under the bridge at some time. I call them the bridge troll. What do trolls do? Hang around under the bridge. It's super possible. Were they caught in an image like that? Look, I really don't know. I personally can't see it. But if you are one of those persons that is being manipulated into hallucinating or believing the hallucinations of others at the moment about this complicated scene down there under the bridge, just stop and think about who you want to be and just guard your mind. We want this solved, so it's easy to get excited about things and it's easy to be frustrated about how the case might appear to be going. But why would you want to rather than be focusing on some really good evidentiary things coming to your notice now, why would you rather focus on some person's fantasy that is doing it for a reason that you don't know, rather than looking at things like how interesting the Klein father and son duo are in terms of having some really good persons of interest. You know, so you're probably well aware that there's a couple of people that are really being hit on for this case by some kind of new YouTube channels, right? And they're old POIs, but new channels. Well, one of them, if he, it's not to say that even either of those people, they could be connected in some way through Anthony Schott's account, right? Anybody could be a suspect as far as being within a network to view child abuse images. It doesn't mean even that they would have anything to do with Delphi murders. Let's just allege for a second that Tony and Keegan Klein are guilty of the murders of Abby and Livy. And let's just say they were connected to the ex-mayor, not mayor of Delphi, through the Anthony Schott's account. That doesn't mean that that person has knowledge of what the Kleins might have done at the bridge. It doesn't mean that the other person that someone is talking about, if he's connected in some way, it doesn't mean that he has any knowledge of what they did at the bridge. Pat Brown was talking about how she thinks, Keegan Anthony Klein, well, he's someone who's not getting up out of his chair. He's not really trying to meet them or anything, In fact, she's got that wrong because she's just missed the information that Keegan was trying to meet people in real life. He did try and meet, was it Kayla, who spoke to Murder Sheet? And that's a bit sus, isn't it? Why? What's so special about Murder Sheet? Why are they? It's nearly like they're chosen to bring you this information. And but let's not go down the conspiracy route. But Keegan was trying to meet people in real life, and his father certainly was. If we can go by multiple accounts of Tony being interested in young women and actually being in their presence and the like, spending time in numerous ways with them. So they have to be good for it. But as Keegan points out in the hypothetical about a man at a gas station whose face you can't see, we can't see Bridge Guy's face, and so if maybe no one's going to dob on him, or no one is going to say they recognise him, then police are at a stalemate. I have mentioned over the years the fact that I don't believe that they've got DNA. And then I've tried to believe it because some people are so sure, mainly Michael Catt was very sure, but I don't believe it. I just don't. I never have. I think if they had DNA, this would be an entirely different case. It would be a solved case, possibly. Anyway, I've rambled on much longer than I thought. I thought it was just going to be 6 minutes, 7 minutes, and what have we got? 26. I am so sorry about that. I hope you put it on 2.0 and that I'm sounding reasonably understandable or clear. Thanks for listening. What do you think?